represents Japan. 15-year-old Ryoto MORI, first Junior Grand Prix season, and this is his second event this fall. He was fourth in Riga, week 1.
And Ryoto comes into this free skate with a 9-point lead over the previous skater and the rest of the field. Unfortunately for him too, he is not adrift too far from podium places as he tries to take his first Junior Grand Prix medal to the man in the iron mask. Ryoto MORI representing Japan, struggling, and Ted, as we watch Ryoto just finding some challenges with this performance, it kind of begs the question. We were talking earlier in the event, in the first 3 groups, how the men had been delivering and the men had been performing as the Japanese flag is waved ringside. And now Aurélien Gervais really struggled through his performance, and this was similar. And sometimes it's just an energetic sense in the arena, and the men are perhaps susceptible to just feeding off one another in a not so good way. And we hope somebody can change that soon.
Well, it's the final 6, and they find themselves somewhat close, and they, you know, maybe are working a little bit too hard. Or this is a very good skater, so he had a pretty good warm up this morning, but he was off on a lot of things, as we see right here, the triple axel on a big lean. although he lands it, he breaks forward, loses the speed. Now he's got to catch up with the music. The triple Lutz looked good in the air, but it was on a little bit of a lean, so he couldn't get a combo out of that. The triple flip, that was fine. And up to the double axel. Okay, that's good. Second triple Lutz a little bit later in the program. Does right into an Euler, into a double Salchow, so that was okay. But there were a number of elements that had problems, like this one at the end. The double axel on a lean and forward, and then single toe, and he's going, wow, this is really a struggle. Should have fought through that, maybe perhaps a little bit more, but it was a struggle all the way through the program for this young man on this day.
And I think, you know, the male pride thing, sometimes if you find yourself making lots of mistakes, you almost don't want to fight through. You want to, you know, say, start again, I'm so much better than this, I can do more. And so it's such a mental game, really challenging.
Free program score, 117.52. That is second for Ryoto in the free program, with a total competition score of 188.17, and that will move him into first place. And that shows you the spread between the short program and the free program, because even though he did not have a good skate, it was enough to move him into first place at this point